Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It is that time of the month. I am going to be doing some live transcribing. Because of course I am. It's really hard I know for you guys to predict when these live streams are coming. But I keep saying it's supposed to be the last weekend of the month. Unless, in this case, where the last weekend of the month was, the 25th. So I wish there was rhyme or reason to it. There is no real rhyme or reason to it. Couldn't put it off any longer. So here we are, doing some live transcribing. We are going to be looking at some of the incredible Bireli Lagrene. See, I'm doing it again. Bireli Lagrene. Bireli Lagrene. Bireli Lagrene. An absolutely outrageously talented guitar player, French jazz musician, and with a lot of experience in both the jazz world and the gypsy jazz world. We're going to be looking at a gypsy jazz rendition of the jazz standard. I guess it's a jazz standard. The Bobby Hebb tune Sunny. This is a nice rendition of the tune played with Josho Stefan, taken from Josho's online guitar academy, which again, I keep saying this, is a website I would love to sign up to. I would love nothing more than to sign up to that website. But I don't have any time to do any practice because I have to fill my days with transcribing. There's no time to practice, unfortunately. So if you are watching this stream and you are enjoying yourself, as always, I would encourage you to hit that share button, hit the like button, leave me a comment, let me know you're out there. And if you have any questions about the process, the transcribing process, I do these to help you learn how I do what I do. So you can go out and do what I do. So maybe one day I can retire because people don't need me to do it anymore. That would be the dream. So if you would like to do that, that would be fantastic. I am going to start the stream off with something funny just because I saw it in my studio and I thought you all might like this. This, ladies and gentlemen, is a bottle of whiskey. This is a bottle of sheepdog whiskey. This is a bottle of peanut butter whiskey. This is a peanut butter whiskey, ladies and gentlemen. This is not an endorsement of sheepdog in any way, shape or form. I saw somebody post on Twitter a bottle of peanut butter whiskey, and I thought the notion was so ridiculous that I just had to grab a bottle. And I didn't hesitate. It was just an immediate, I'm buying that. That's too ridiculous to not buy. So, and the wild thing about it is, Jesus, it smells like peanut butter. Absolutely bizarre. So I've not had any yet, but I thought, share something funny. Why not? That usually gets people started. Let me bring up my stream. How do I do that? Let's try this. Sometimes YouTube is a little bit laid back on the comments front. Yeah, so comments are coming in, but they're not showing up in my streaming thing. So let me just reload that. Shouldn't delay the stream. Should still be here. There we go. They're coming in. How's it going, Jeff? And good to see you, Michael. Two of my favourite boys. Hope you're well. Hope you're both well. So peanut butter whiskey. What a disaster. Or fantastic. Who knows? I've not had the chance to try any yet. We will see how that one goes. So this should be a lot of fun. Or anyone out there, crunchy or smooth? I mean, it's a whiskey. I hope it's pretty smooth. I'm sure it won't be. It's one of those weird things. I got this right, and Melissa's like, "What the hell are we going to have that with? How do you drink a peanut flavored whiskey?" And I was like, I don't know. I don't know if you'd want to drink it neat because it's more of a liqueur. It's a flavored drink. So, but then you don't want to, pollute the flavor of it with too many other things to mask the flavor of what it's going for. So I'll try and make some old-fashioned cocktails with it, I guess, which would be cool. So Trinity Ludus TV, how do you use triads for soloing? I would encourage you to go and check out my soloing school videos. This is not a guitar lesson stream, but in essence, how do you use triads for soloing? Triads contain 3 notes. Chords that you play on tend to contain 3 notes most of the time. Sometimes they contain 4 notes, but sometimes they contain more, I guess. But let's say you're playing music where you're playing over triads. The chords that you're playing, tell you 3 of the best notes that you can possibly play on it. So those should be the most important notes that you play. Those should be the ones that really outline the sound of the harmony. I am going to pitch a book on triads, triad soloing, and my triad method to Joseph Alexander. I've got a book being edited at the moment though, so it won't be for a while until I do something like that. But who knows? Maybe that will come. Anyway, so any Bireli Lagrene fans on the stream? I am going to run my credits because I have to do that. It's the start of the month, guys, so it's a great time to get involved on Patreon. Link in the description. My numbers keep going down, so if you would like to help push them up and stop me from being destitute, that would be fantastic. Of course, you'll be able to download this transcription over there on the transcription challenge level. You can get lots of... I'm going to need to do a bit of a Patreon revamp, to be honest. But yeah, you can get lots of stuff in return for being a member over on Patreon, as well as that incredibly good feeling of knowing that you're supporting somebody that works their ass off for way too many hours a day, every single day. That's a good feeling, so consider doing that. Right, where am I going? Yeah, fuck it, let's go over here. So I have, look at that, I've even got an enjoy the stream, support us on Patreon, or with Super Chat tips. So they're like target notes. Yeah, well, yeah, I would, when I play scales, I don't really play scales. I don't think of scales as being a thing that I learn. To me, scales are the thing that you get when you connect up the notes of a triad. All of that other information is what you would call a scale. So yeah, that's how I would think about that. Anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to play this video. I'm going to mark it out in Transcribe. So in the top left here, I have a piece of software called Transcribe. I've loaded my video into that, so the video is going to play here. On the right, of course, I have Guitar Pro. I'm using Guitar Pro 7. Oh, Michael Shoots ordered some V-Picks. Good stuff, man. I just I got a bunch more just recently, and we were bringing them on for a short period on the podcast as a sponsor. They sent Mike a bunch of stuff for him to try out. My one's always going to be the medium pointed pearly gates, specifically the pearly gates. I have like the red versions, a couple of red ones here. These ones have the hot. I don't know why I'm doing it like that. Let's do it like this. Oh, these are ones that are these the jalapenos? I forget which model it is. These ones have grip holes drilled into them. But my go-to is always going to be the medium pointed. Love that pick. Over a decade I've used those for now. God, I'm old. Anyway, so I'm going to press play on this and we're going to mark out the file. And what I mean by that is I'm going to put in where all of the bars are. This is going to help us in the transcription process. It will make the whole job of transcribing a hell of a lot easier. Let me check my socials. Just make sure that people are tuning in and enjoying this thing. Oh, I'll tell you what. Why don't we do a Instagram video? How do I do that? Huh? That. Post. There we go. Ladies and gentlemen of Instagram land, just to let you all know, I am live on YouTube right now. Like, literally right now. That didn't work the way I wanted it to. Thought I could turn the camera. Couldn't. Let's try that again. Ladies and gentlemen of Instagram land, this is just to let you know that I am live on YouTube right now. Like, literally, people are watching me make this video. So head on over to YouTube, check me out doing some live transcribing. We will be transcribing some Bireli Lagrene. Yes, I said Bireli Lagrene. I'm doing my best to be French. We're going to learn some cool Gypsy jazz stuff. Come check it out. You will have a great time. YouTube.com/Levi Clay, I think, maybe. That sounds about right. I don't think it is, but you'll find me. Sweet. Right, let's do this. 2 different size pearly gates and 2 different size dimensions. Yeah, it was the Dimension 3.0s, which Mike is kind of into. So we got a bunch of Dimension 3.0s. He really likes that. I love the dimensions, don't get me wrong. The only reason I prefer the medium pointed is there's 3 points on a medium pointed. So it's definitionally going to last 3 times longer. And they last a long fucking time anyway, of course, because they're such a hard material. It takes a long time to wear them down. With a dimension, they're incredible picks. I would say overall they're better picks than the medium pointeds because they have that really nice bevel that they file to. But of course the bevel is thinner, and that because it's thin, it will wear down a little bit faster. And you get that with any pick. You know, using like a Jazz 3. After a week of using a Jazz 3, that tip starts to round off a little bit, and the pick feels a little bit different. And yeah, I want something that's going to last as long as possible. So medium pointed for me. Did you get any of the screamers? That would be the one that I'd be interested to know if you checked out, Michael. Anyway, let's do this. So I'm just worried about Bireli's playing here. We'll take a look at the main melody, I guess. 2, 3, 4. put the bar in there. Wonderful. I didn't. And I will talk about why we're looking at this in a second. I think Yosho's going to have a solo now. I'm not going to transcribe this because I've done enough of his playing on the channel. He's a great player. Well worth checking out. Some of my students, and I see some of them in the chat at the moment, will be familiar with this tune because I'll turn it down a bit, because I teach this tune quite a lot, because it's an interesting one because you can play the changes like a jazz player, or you can just play A minor over the whole thing and it does work. 2, 3, 4. So this is the solo we're going to focus on. Hello, Narviz87. Well, the thing that's worth pointing out, Michael Thompson, is that while both of these guys are wonderful gypsy jazz players, neither of them have what I would call a traditional gypsy jazz hand, picking hand. Cool. We'll go as far as that. Yeah, neither of these guys have a particularly, traditional gypsy jazz hand. If you look at like anyone from the Rosenberg trio, the angle of the wrist in particular, let me bring this up. You tend to find the angle of the wrist in particular for guys that you would consider, lifelong players of that, tends to be out a lot more because they tend to push into the strings a lot more when they play. Yosho's got a really interesting picking hand because it's very modern rock, to be honest. And Bireli's hand, he looks like a jazz player when he plays this stuff. He obviously digs in a lot more when he's doing the gypsy jazz thing. But yeah, thought that was just worth pointing out, or just worth mentioning at least. At least that's my perspective on things. And what do I know? I'm not really a gypsy jazz guitar player. But, I do live with a gypsy. So, literally, I don't I'm talking about myself. Right, so let me do some of this. So if we jump back to the start of this tune, like I said, I'm not too interested in getting the intro riff now. Let's get that lit because it is cool. Now, for those unfamiliar with the changes on Sunny, because it's kind of useful to know what the changes are in advance of playing and transcribing a tune, if you're looking to learn and understand the vocabulary. So the Sunny changes are really simple, actually, in the grand scheme of things. It begins on an A minor 7, and then I think of it as being a 2-5-1 in the key of F. So you start on your A minor, then you move down a tone to G minor, you play G minor C7 and F major 7. So it's like you move to F. and then you have to come back to A. So how do we get back to A? Well, we play a 2-5-1 in the key of A, in the key of A minor, I should say. So B minor 7 flat 5, E7 back to A minor. That's the basic vibe for the tune. There's a slight change in the third time round through that, where you hit a B flat 7 sharp 11. I'll point that out when we get there. The reason I raise this is because playing over Sunny, for me at least, is really about hitting that A minor and F-y sound. F-y, like that's the sound, right? And then the spicy stuff tends to happen over that 2-5, the B minor 7 flat 5 to the E7 chord. And that's what Bireli is leading in with here, with this lick. That's a really simple lick, actually. It's just just that. Yeah, so we're on the pickup. So 1, 2, 3, and let's get that bottom note. And of course, I'm singing this, so ba ba da 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 ba da 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 ba ba da da da. A little bit messy. That's really it. Let's take this like that. So that's really the lick he plays there. Probably put a tempo marker in just so we can hear these in context. So we're looking at 122 BPM. It will fluctuate, of course, over the course of the performance. And stretches way too much for my old hands. Yeah, I know the feeling, man. Yeah, so Michael Thompson here. My old teacher said that a solo without the chords notated wasn't nearly as useful, and that's absolutely true. And generally speaking, as a transcriber, I'm not going to say I avoid transcribing chords. Let me be clear about that. I don't avoid transcribing chords. I can transcribe chords. But if somebody asks me to transcribe this solo, well, actually, this is a bad example because I know the harmony to the tune. Let's say it's a tune that I'm unfamiliar with the chord changes on, right? I'm happy to transcribe the chords for them, but I'm making the assumption that they already know the chords and therefore they don't need me to put in all the extra time to transcribe the chords because, of course, I'm happy to do it, but then you're going to have to pay for that time as well. If you already know the chords, it doesn't really serve you any purpose for me to be working them out, right? But, yeah, I totally agree with you. It's not even that they're not nearly as useful. I would go as far as saying useless. If you're for this style, if you're trying to learn anything jazz-based or where you are literally improvising over chord changes, where you're playing melodies that fit over the chords you're playing over, you bet your fucking bottom dollar you need to know what those chords are. It's really important because otherwise you could just look at this and go, what does this have to do with A minor? I mean, actually, it's pretty close to A minor. To be fair, there's a G sharp, which you wouldn't expect to be an A minor. But, my mind, because I know this is an E7, I can see that as being a Phrygian dominant line, which makes a lot more sense, right? Because, of course, E7, you play Phrygian dominant over it, which, of course, is the same as A harmonic minor. I keep saying, of course, like you know these things. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. Anyway, let's transcribe this melody. Oh, and I just want to point out, I've been doing live streams with my girlfriend, Melissa, the aforementioned Gypsy, and... I can be like that when she's not here, of course. We've been listening to early jazz. So we've done 2 streams so far, Sidney Bechet, and we have done Duke Ellington and Louis Armstrong as a pair. And the whole point of why we're starting in the early place like that is because in that era, in the early years of jazz, playing melodies and improvising solos was melodically driven. So when you're looking to get into jazz, you need to appreciate that originally it was a melody-driven form of music, and the improvisation that was happening was often in those early years based on the melody of the tune, which you would then embellish. So when you look at a tune like Sunny, I could sing the tune to Sunny in a really stiff way. Let me do that for you. So if I just go ba-da, ba-da-da-da-da, ba-down, dun down, ba-da, bum ba-da-da-da-dum, bum 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 bum, ba-da-da-dum, ba-da-da-da-dum. You get the idea, right? I could sing the tune like that, but even if we just take the first line of that, ba-da, ba-da-da-da-da, no syncopation, I'm not doing anything really interesting there, right? Whereas if I go ba-da, boom ba-da-da-da-da, boom bam ba-da, boo-da-da ba-da, boo-da-da ba-da-da, do-da, boo-da-da. I'm pushing and pulling with the melody just a little bit. You know, of course, you can still tell that it's sunny with my terrible singing. I'm not a singer, so I apologise for that. That's what Bireli's going to do here. He's playing the melody in the truest sense of the word. The melody is still very much there. You know he's playing sunny, but he's very liberal with the rhythms and he's embellishing it a lot. So it's jazz, which is cool. So let's check it out. It's syncopation there, which is cool. Anyway, let's do the first bar first. Where's he playing this? Yeah, so we're gonna go. Is that both hammer-ons? Hammer-ons. I like to flip my grace notes. I'm going to zoom in on it a little bit so you can see a little bit clearer what's going on. A lot apparently. Leave the bar open. Sunny, sunny. So where does this come in? It comes in on beat 3. 1, 2, 3. Ba 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 ba. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. I shouldn't really be pushing myself up there. I want to point this out. I'm not going to do this visually. It's about knowing where that melody falls in relation to the click. So we have 1, 2, 3. Ba 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 dum. Ba 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 dum. They're all offbeat 16th notes. And if you look at the melody, it's all just minor pentatonic. So 1, 2, 3. If I zoom out on that melody so we can see the entirety of that melody, this is all just minor pentatonic. The melody to Sunny, completely minor pentatonic. Let me make a little bit more space for us. There you go. Yeah, throwing in a little bit of spice in there. F major pentatonic. Now this part, we've got options for this, right? I can quantize this. So if we listen to this bar, if you focus on beat 4, 1, 2, 3. You could write that as an offbeat triplet, or not an offbeat triplet, sorry, the last 2 notes of a triplet, 1, 2, 3, triple, or 1, 2, 3, ba da ba. Or 2 16th notes, so 1, 2, 3, 1 E and a 1, 2, 3, ba da ba. I'm going to do it 16th notes just because the melody is 16th notes, so I'm thinking of it as being played lazy. And that next note he plays late. But I'm putting it on the beat because we want our transcriptions to look good. Anyway, sorry, Dave has left a comment. You subbed to That Art of the Guitar series where he really plays. I have seen some of these. Yeah, I have seen some of these. Yeah, I have. You put the Maiden one up just recently, didn't it? I can tell you how that stuff wasn't picked up, Dave. Back in the day when tab books were made for bands, it was just a way to make money, and that hasn't really changed for a lot of people, to be honest. There's a lot of substandard products being released, but also more importantly, especially back in the early days of when the tab book boom really happened, tab wasn't widely used until it started to become popular in the late 70s, early 80s, but it still wasn't, mass. It wasn't everywhere until much later on. And a lot of the guys that were doing transcriptions of that stuff, some of them were guitar players, don't get me wrong. You've got guys like Wolf Marshall, did a lot of those early transcriptions. But all of the guys that did those transcriptions were notation guys. They were not tab guys. So they would notate things and then move it over to the tab. And a lot less thought went into, well, how would the player be playing this? I think in their mind, the idea was, well, it doesn't matter if the tab's not exactly how it would have been played because the notation's there, so they can, they can try different fingerings. And of course, we know guitar players to be lazy, so tab is very important for those people. For people that are, I don't want to say musically illiterate, but notation illiterate, shall we say. Tab is really important for those people. But also, you had a lot of piano players were transcribing stuff like that, so they would write stuff out that they would hear, and then they'd put it in tab, and it would just be these really weird, unfingerable things. So yeah, that's how that kind of happened. What's wrong with the Chinese Democracy book? I mean, to be fair, I'm sure there's lots of mistakes in there, because of course there's mistakes in there. But I love that album. I will not hear you talk shit about that album. Sorry, let me carry on. I'm actually going to make that one an offbeat triplet because it's so late. Was that 7 or 8? That's E flat, not. Holds it for the beat. I'm not overly happy with it looking like that. Keeps the whole bar empty. So on the last 16th note of beat 2, 1, 2 E and And for Jeff, who I know is still on, right? When I teach you 16th note vocabulary, 16th note lines and runs and things, anytime a melody is played with long 16th notes, I'll give you an example, right? So if I played one that I've been working on, I'm sure I showed this to you just recently. If I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, I would always practice that as 1, 2, 3, 4. That's me playing 1 E and a 2 E and So I'm doing this rhythm, right, where I'm offsetting that first note, I'm pulling it back, syncopating the melody a little bit. Oops. This is so, like, timing wise, it's just like really offset. Let me keep up with these comments. Yeah, super familiar with those old tabs. Shakalaka. How can you put their video and transcribe? Go on their website, download the GStreamer app, and then it opens videos. Larry Carlton tab book, weird to understand. The band score books were really good. I've got quite a few. A lot of them contain impossible fingerings. Yeah. The thing I will say about those Japanese band score books, and I have a lot of those, or I certainly had even more back in the day, the notation was generally very good in those, though. Tab was often awful, but the notation was often very good. So, yeah. Yeah, offbeat triplet. And again, not looking for detail. I don't want a MIDI track that we can play back and have it sound exactly like the recording. I want something that you can interpret. I don't like doing this in Guitar Pro, but you're going to have to because it is definitely what he plays. Having double grace notes, it compresses into shit. Bye. ba da do. You know, note-wise here, this is very easy to understand. But rhythm, you know, I want it to look good. So how am I gonna? Yeah, so I would probably go. So it's heavy quantizing on that. But if we just look at this and ask ourselves, if we were reading this, and you have to, of course, be able to read in order to do this, if we were reading this as a rhythm, how would we interpret that? 1 and ba ba ba. Ba da do da. Ba da boo da. Ba da boo da. And I think that gives the intention in. Ba da boo da. He's just a little bit early with this note and he drags these out a little bit. Ba ba bo ba bo. It's on the 16th note. I'm being lazy on that. I don't want to put... I'll show you why. It's probably important, isn't it? If I put 5, 6... which is what he plays. See how it compresses the bar in like a weird way? You can actually, if I go this way, these grace notes in Guitar Pro... Sorry, I should move out of the way. These grace notes in Guitar Pro will start to overlap on previous notes. So if you go here, look, they're now before this 8th fret, and it's just a mess. Just a mess. Oh, wrong button. Wrong button again. So I put a shift slide in here. Ba-da. Ba-da-da. I messaged you on Facebook, Joe. Read your messages. You'll very quickly understand. You'll sympathise. I promise. Joe, I've got Facebook open, so I'm going to see exactly when you read that. But nothing really stops me. Nothing stops me from doing Jimmy Herring, so that will come. I promise you. If the videos are as good as I hope they are, that will come because I love them. How is transcribing in PTB? Are we talking power tab there, Dave? I used to do it. I used to be very... I see you saw it there, Joe. I used to use power tab. You see it. I used to use power tab almost exclusively. And I used to be really good in both Guitar Pro and power tab. I knew all the hotkeys for both of them. But the reality of the situation with power tab is... they work in very different ways. Power tab works with X amount of space on a line. So if a line has too many notes in it, there's literally not enough space on the line to put enough notes in there. Generally speaking, not a massive problem, but I don't like the way that works. I was using it less and less. I like Guitar Pro. I can work faster in Guitar Pro than I could in PowerTab. So I started to tell all of my clients, look, no more PowerTab. I can do it in Guitar Pro and then export it as a PowerTab, but no more PowerTab. So he does it again here. And then we go. You're going to see how messy this line looks in a second. Oh, sorry, I've expanded my screen out. Let me sort that out for you. You don't want that. Ah, chaos. Yeah, you want to be able to see my full bar, don't you? Bireli is a master. Total smorgas. I love the word smorgasbord of styles across a single solo. Yeah, he's great. He's such a good player. See, it's actually ended up working okay here with these grace notes, but when I look at these, they freak me out because I have so much experience of Guitar Pro really letting the team down on this stuff. Joe, you're too good. I have met the best people in doing what I do for a living. and I genuinely feel, I'm just going to throw this one out there. I genuinely feel that if something awful happened in my life, like, I don't know, Bireli Lagrene decided to sue me. I don't know why he'd do that. He seems like a nice guy. If he decided to do that, I just know that you guys would have my back. And that's because you guys are awesome. So let's have a look. Is that line also pois pois? I don't know what that means, TGS. Sorry. Pois pois. No. Or do you mean literally pois pois? Just checking if he plays that note. Yeah, so he does hit it. But I'm going to deaden it. Sorry, quarter notes on each of those. So this is interesting. He goes for this 9th fret note, this E natural. But you never hear it. He doesn't sound it. Can't really hear or see that. What? I can hear these notes, but they're not there. I guess you could. I hate that. I really hate this. These types of things happen often when you transcribe, where you have in your. I think what I would describe as audio illusions, where you start hearing things that aren't there because it makes sense for them to be there. It feels like he should be playing 4 notes there, right? So let's just keep on. How's it going, Dan Smith? Good to see you, man. Talk about a ghost note, yeah. He changes his mind halfway through the whole step. I think it's the nature of a gypsy jazz guitar, right? If you're not picking the note, you're not. No one's going to hear it for the most part because you're playing with a rhythm guitar player next to you that's smashing the shit out of the guitar. And I don't know if everyone out there has played a gypsy jazz guitar. I've got a Cigano in the house. It's a nice guitar. They are so loud. They are so unbelievably loud. See, actually what I hear is ba-da-bya-da. I would play it as this. So I'm just going to leave it as that. If we look at this as a melody, ba-da, 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 that's what I really hear there. Ba-da, ba-da, ba-da. That's what I'm hearing. This needs to be triplet. I'm hearing like a heavy minor 6 there. If Django doesn't pick a note in the woods, does anyone hear it? I should point out, somebody said that you'll have to have Melissa on for a Gypsy Jazz stream. The next stream that we do in our jazz, like what do I call it, jazz school, in the history of jazz school streams, we're going to do a Django stream. So next week we'll be streaming Django. We'll be listening to Django. We're going to talk about Melissa's experience of Roma culture and the music that she grew up around. It's going to be really interesting to have a semi-authentic experience. And I say semi-authentic because, that like there's a difference for being like of Roma origin, living in Scotland and England for your life in the. I guess Melissa was born in like 85, so the latter part of the 20th century. That's very different from the Roma culture that I guess, well, obviously Django experienced, but the generations that came after him, very different experience. So looking forward to talking about it though. So yeah, make sure you tune in for that. Hit that subscribe button and all of that good stuff. So again, here we hear a melody that he doesn't play. This could be for many reasons. This could factor into the voicing that Yosho plays. This could be a cut in the audio, but I hear a melody here where he goes ba da 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 ba da 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 ba da 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 ba 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 ba. But we can see that he doesn't play that, so it must be rhythm guitar. Or that would work too. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so I'm hearing the minor 6 in the rhythm guitar. Ba-do-da-do-da. Love audio illusions like that, right? Chord here. And again, visual aids helps. Visual aids. Lol. Oh no, Gypsy Jazz guitar, sorry. 5, 6, no, that's right. Yep. Oh, the reason I said Gypsy Jazz guitar is what you tend to find on most Gypsy Jazz guitars are the fret markers aren't in the places where you normally expect them to be. Where would you have them? You would have it at 3. Yeah, so you'd have one at 3, one at 5, one at 10, and one at 12. Is that right? Feels right. Same idea, right? We could play this melody as ba-da-da-da, ba-da-da-da, but it's really cool to ba-ba-da-da, 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 rather than ba-da-da-da, ba-da-da-da, ba-ba-da-da. Putting that syncopation on the start of a 16th note run is really cool. That's really pushing there hard. I don't like this at all. And I don't mean what he's playing. I mean how I have to write it. Again, if I look at this, 3, 4, ba 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 ba. Oh, this is an example of that kind of E7 vocabulary. Boom, B flat. Don't have perfect pitch. Let's have a look. Have you been in the same room and experienced the sound difference between the big oval sound hole guitars? No, I haven't. I've never actually played one of those big oval sound guitars. I'm not a fan of them. The look of them. Sorry, cardinal sin of streaming there. Dead air. Have you used Sweet and Lowdown with Sean Penn? Sweet and Lowdown with Sean Penn. I can't say I have. No, Hull drummer. Can't say I have. Oh. Needs to be a triplet there, right? Ba bo da da dum, ba bo da da dum, ba bo da da dum. I'll quantize that and make that an offbeat. Context. I hate having to do like triplets when it's not triplets. But that's the best way to do that. Ba, 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 da, da. Ba-da-dum-ba-bo. Oh, ba-bo-ba. Same, so I'm going to copy paste. Ba-da. Save me time. Because, of course, this is the thing to point out, right? When you're a transcriber and when you're transcribing professionally, when you're doing it for a living, time is money. So you have to work as fast as you possibly can. I've transcribed a minute of this so far, right? And I've been streaming for 55 minutes. So, you know, if I was being paid £25 for this, it wouldn't be the worst. I'd make more money teaching privately. Of course, if I wasn't talking and entertaining and explaining things, I'd be working a little bit faster, so it can be a little bit more profitable. But of course, when the solo kicks in, it's going to be some hard work here. David's online. How's it going, brother? This way too cool. I learned a lot on this one. Great. Now I have to share it on my Facebook page. Sweet. That'd be very much appreciated, David. And thanks for supporting the channel. It means a lot. In fact, as we're about to hit the hour mark, this channel is brought to you by my wonderful supporters over on Patreon. Link is in the description. It's a great way to support the channel. It's a great way to keep the lights on in here. It keeps motivating me to make content, do cool stuff, create cool educational content, rage time videos. I try to do less of those. I want to educate people and teach them the skills that I've developed, the skills that have helped me to build a career for myself. I want people to have these skills so you can go out and form your own careers. I want people to be as successful in the industry as they can be, and I want people to be able to make their own products and things like that, right? Because I don't have the time to do it all, right? And the best way to learn to do that is to support the channel, and then I can make more content. Because look at it this way. If you've got £100,000 in the bank, or whatever it happens to be, and you can afford to support the channel, doing so helps to keep the channel alive for the people that can't afford to support the channel. Because I wouldn't ever want to lock content behind a paywall so nobody could access it. Only people with money. That's not how education should work. Education should be for everybody. Wow, I've become a socialist, apparently. That's me now. If that doesn't suit, you can also head on over to Amazon and check out one of my books. So let's continue. Copy paste. Oh, hello. Beautiful. It's like it's a diminished triad, but that's not obviously not the harmony he's playing there. That'll be... Oh, no. It's not a diminished triad. It's a B flat major triad. Yeah, wild. So he's playing a B flat major triad over an E over an E7 chord, which gives you all that tension in there. Because if you look at the notes in there in relation to an E flat chord, you've got the flat 9 of the E flat chord, you've got the flat 5 of the E chord, and you've got the flat 7 of the E chord. So there's really, we could call this B flat over E7, like that. You could call it that, or you could call this, we've got the flat 9 and the flat 5, so you could call it like, you call it E7 flat 5 flat 9, or you could call it E7 flat 9 sharp 11. I prefer B flat over E, to be honest, but... It's hard to hear what Bireli plays there because Yosho jumps in and really gives it some volume at that point. So I'm not even going to put that melody in there. So we have this. Is that right? So if we listen to this now, what was the question? Is that altered? Yeah. So or you could of course call it E7 altered. That will do the job. But if we want to be really specific, he is playing a B flat major triad and he's playing it over an E7. So B flat over E or B flat over E7 would be pretty accurate too. So right, if we listen to what we've got thus far, we have this. You know what, I'm actually going to play it along with him. Because that shouldn't be too difficult. Tempo's pretty solid for this, so if we go... put it in from there. So if we do this, put my markers in like that, and we go 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, we're a little bit off. Sorry. Let's just go from the melody. Yeah, this isn't going to work. Tempo's off. 1, 2, 3. I hate doing stuff like this. I mean, it's great when it works, right? Actually, the tempo's too fast. I'm an incompetent fuck. One last time. Yeah, no, it's never gonna line up. Let's just listen to it play. So. That works, does the job. Let's leave 4 bars of space and then we'll crack on and we'll do a little bit of Bireli solo. Beautiful melody, right? And stuff like that is, you know, yeah, wild. Beautiful. So simple. And that's why I love the Gypsy Jazz thing, because while sometimes the technique on display is phenomenal, their ability to play really great, strong melodies is really good. Ba-da-da-da. Ba-da-da-da-da-da. Ba-da-da-da-da-da. Super simple melody, but really nice. Ba-da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da. We'll go three measures per line for the solo. Da 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 ba do ba 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 da ba da da. Diminish. Nope. Okay, so I want to really make sure that I'm placing this in the right place in the beat, because obviously I'm listening to it quite slowly. When you do that, it's very easy to kind of lose sight of where the actual pulse is. Okay, so I'd actually make that a triplet. Da, 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 da. Because this, let's get rid of that. That's on the beat. What does he play there? What is that last note? Is that an E? You don't get that. There's no, you can see him going for a G. We don't hear a G though. Sorry to be totally off topic. Any update on my ear training book course you mentioned on previous stream? Nah, man. Sorry, bro. Like, my next book, it's a hybrid picking book. It's written, it's being edited at the moment, and then I don't know when they'll have time to publish another one of my books. And to be honest, it's same thing as I said last time. Like, I've just been completely rammed with transcription work. I've not had a day to do anything for myself. I've actually even been, you know, kind of lacking on the piano practice front, to be honest. I've been lacking on the YouTube video. I've been lacking. All right, let's do this. There's nothing I love more than beating myself up because I'm not doing enough. Because somehow I'm not getting all of the work done. And I am working ungodly amounts of hours just to get everything done, you know? And I beat myself up for not doing enough. I beat myself up for not staying up late enough and working just that extra hour. I beat myself up for not getting up early enough in the morning and getting that extra hour in. And I'm getting better at not beating myself up about that and now going, fuck it, people are going to have to wait. So, fuck it, you're going to have to wait. Hello, Craig. How's it going, brother? It's going to go down to an A, surely. F major arpeggio. Carrying on with that F major. Well, that's really, really useful, Jamie. So my book is going to be ridiculously detailed, and it's going to be aimed at developing hybrid. I'll bring myself up on screen. It's going to be aimed at developing hybrid picking technique from the ground up. There are some great hybrid picking books out there, but they're advanced even for my levels. So we're going to start out literally just by using one finger at first for an adjacent string, melodies that use adjacent strings, chords, harmony, things like that. Just getting dexterity in this one finger. Then getting the ability to stretch out and use this finger for strings that aren't adjacent to the string you're on. Then we introduce another finger, initially playing harmonically, so playing these two fingers as a double stopping feature, then using them individually for rolls and things like that. And then expanding out and using all three fingers. Again, not taking it into silly advanced territory, being able to play jazz harmony, jazz chords and things like that between pick and fingers, Brazilian guitar things, developing dexterity in all these fingers so you can do stuff. And there's some really cool stuff in there. I've got an entire Bach piece in there. I've got I'm doing a version of one of Melissa's songs, so we're going to have a backing track in there with vocals on it so you can practice with a singer, so you can see how these things serve a singer. Chris Locke, thank you very much, buddy. I really appreciate it. And I also have one of those fret cam mounts, kind of like Troy Grady's magnets. I'm going to film a bunch of videos when I'm doing all the audio examples so you can see right up close on my picking hand exactly how I'm executing all these hybrid picking things. So well worth checking out. I'm sure you will. I'm sure you will enjoy it. Chris, I hope you're well, man. And yeah, keep cracking on with Neo. I love that game so much. I'd go as far as saying Neo is one of my favourite games ever made. Just a random descending chromatic thing. Jump up an F major open voice triad. Insanity. I see what Chris has done there, though, of course. Chris has enjoyed the stream and has shown support by supporting us on Patreon or with super chat tips. So thank you very much, Chris. If anyone wants to match Chris, the most generous man I've ever met in my entire fucking life. Yeah, I'm glad, man. So I'll be honest, I'll tell you something about Neo. The second one, I think the second Neo is better than the first one, but the first one is still excellent. The first one actually gets too hard. It actually gets too hard. Now, I did get the Platinum Trophy in it, right? And there's a couple of, like, some of the later stages in the game where you have to do some of the harder bosses, 2 of them at the same time, in like an arena setting. Those are bastards, but I managed to get those all done. And I loved it so much, I put maybe 70 or 80 hours into it. And then I immediately was like, you know what, I'm going to do the DLC. And I got like a decent chunk into some of the missions of the first DLC, and I was like, this is just too hard. This is just too hard. Those double boss things were just unreasonably hard, and they didn't do any of those in Neo 2, and it's all the better for it, to be honest. You can also transform into a yokai demon in Neo 2, which is another cool feature. This isn't a video game stream, sorry. Going to put a shift slide in there because we can see he does it. Bastard. Fucking hell, an F major. Of course it's an F major triad. Bill Weather Dev, how's it going? It's not often you get to watch someone transcribe live, especially Bireli. Quality content right here. Thank you very much, sir. I transcribe on YouTube every month live, and you get to see all of it, and the whole process, and you know, ask me questions and see how it is that I do what I do. Nice. What's that? That is it's like an A flat. A flat? A G flat minor triad. I assume he plays that there, right? It's like uber tension. I really like that. Be a B double flat. I'm not going to put a B double flat in there. It should be a B double flat, really. So here, this is really interesting, actually. Bilbo, you might really enjoy this if you don't get to see people do this sort of thing often. If we listen to this line, there's a lot of detail lost in it. And what we have to do when we transcribe something like this is sing what we think that melody is, what we would remember that melody is. And when I hear that, I hear ba-da-da-da, 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 ba-ba, ba-ba, ba-da-da, ba-da-da, ba-ba, ba-da-da, ba-ba. Keep singing that note wrong, but ba-da-da, ba-da-da-da. So I'm gonna when we do it like that, you know, sing, internalize the melody, it becomes a lot easier to write that melody out. Just one final question. No pain at all. Dude, it's people like you that make these streams worth doing. If I was just transcribing without you interacting, That's just what I do for a living. That's just my job all day, every day. I do these so I can interact with people. So am I planning to do any books on triads? I was talking about at the start of the stream. I would rather do a book on triads and improvising with triads and thinking of triad harmony and turning triads into scales and how I use that to outline chord changes than an ear training book, because the concept of an ear training book is so complicated to ask yourself, what would a good ear training book look like? How do you teach someone how to hear with words? It's really hard. So so that is very high on my list of things I want to do. Oh, bastard. That's interesting. I'd write it like that. Wild. Yeah, why not end on that E flat? This actually, this is really interesting in terms of how when I started getting into jazz and wanting to play jazz, my favourite player was Joe Pass. Still one of my favourite players. I absolutely love Joe's playing. And I got wasn't a transcriber at the time, but I got transcriptions of his playing, and then I would go through it like this, and I would look at the chord, and I would go, okay, well, what does this note do on the chord? You know, this is the sharp 2 on the chord. This is a flat 13. This is a sharp 2. This is a 2. This is a flat 2, and this is am I right on that? What am I talking about? Sorry guys, I can't read. Try again. This is the 3. This is the that's embarrassing. This is the 3. This is the flat 13. This is the 3. This is the sharp 2. This is the flat 2. This is, and I could do that, and then you could piece together the mindset. Okay, this is what he's thinking here. I was wrong when I did that, because Joe wasn't thinking like that. Joe was playing melodies, and that meant that sometimes he would play notes that didn't really belong. And I had that problem of, well, if I can't explain why he played it, then I'm not allowed to play it because I'm playing it wrong, or because I don't understand it, because I can't, I'm just copying. And that was the wrong approach. I should have copied those melodies. I should have focused on imitating the melodies of the players that I loved. Because when somebody plays something like this, like, you can sit and argue that he's played wrong notes here all you want, right? But it sounds cool. So. Is that Maxime? Have I considered multi-streaming on Twitch? I would love to. I don't know how to. That's really all it comes down to. I should absolutely look into it, yeah, because I know Twitch is people love Twitch. So there's a lot of stuff in my career that I'm lacking in, and sometimes a little bit of help on how to do, because I'm old fashioned. I'm 32 years old. It's not as old as some, of course, but not as young as many, as would be my way of looking at it. So while I have a grip on certain internet things in a way that people older than me don't, there's all these new things about the internet that I don't understand or really know how to do. And a lot of the things I've learned to do has been with the good graces of help from other people. I wouldn't know how to use OBS if it wasn't for someone showing me how to do that. If it wasn't for that, I didn't even have a YouTube channel 5 years ago because it just wasn't, I didn't know how to do all of that stuff. So yeah. Fill it out and on Black Orpheus. You should try and write it out, Matthew. I mean, I have to write stuff out or I'll never remember anything. Whoops. What have I done here? 4, 8, 12, almost at the end of the chorus. So you had that B flat. Yeah. It doesn't hit that. That's the rhythm guitar. Ba-do-da-do. Did you play that there? A little augmented triad. Absolutely glorious. I'm going to transcribe that lick and then I'm going to end for the night. Because that's insanity. Thank you very much, everybody, for tuning into this stream. And as always, please do like the channel, like the video, leave a comment, subscribe, tell your friends, tell your enemies, all that good stuff. It all helps. Every little bit helps. Where's he playing that? It's like an augmented. you playing there? Diminished. I think of that as being like a G flat major. G flat major, G flat 7 flat 9 really. If you're going to do that, you would do this. Yeah, put again A double flat. I'll put it in there. Why not? Recommendation on how learning Guitar Pro more in depth. Yeah, I've got a bunch of YouTube videos on how to use Guitar Pro more in depth. Yeah. Thank you for tuning in. So here we need to know where the beat is, right? So there's a triplet. That'd be the double flat. Whoops. Just total guesswork. Let's see if I've fingered that right. So it's not. He plays that there. This is a shift slide. That's a great lick. I'm going to check that note because I don't think it's that. Ah, okay, well, yeah, that would make sense, Bilbo. Yeah, I've got in-depth tutorials on Guitar Pro 7. You'll find them all if you look for Guitar Pro Levi. As I've got a playlist actually on my channel of all of them. Get a little bit cramped, but I'll stick with it for consistency. B flat. Yeah. Six String Spice, always inspired by your work, Levi. Thank you very much. I bought your 100 Country Licks book a while back, one of my all-time favourites. Double thank you very much. Keep up the superb work. I will do my best. 100 country licks is, of all of my books, I think it's probably my favourite. Because I went above and beyond. I didn't just do 100 licks. As you well know, there's a lot more to it than just 100 licks. I knew I'd hit the wrong note there. I feel like a massive cock tease for ending the solo here, ending the transcription here, but I'm going to because I've been streaming for an hour and a half. It's late. I've had a shitty day, and there are other things that I need to go and deal with. So I'm just going to play the solo for you that we've got thus far. I'd really just wanted to get one chorus done, and then I was like, okay, well, we'll start the next melody, and then before you know it, we had this beast, which was really cool. So we're going to sound like this. Which sounds like nothing on its own, right? Not nothing. It sounds like nonsense would be my way of putting it. Because the chords, you really need the chords, right? So let's see if I can try and get the line up just for a minute. So we're going here. So if I get the tempo like this, so we're at 120. So see if we can get lucky. We got like this. Let's go from this second chorus. See, tempo's off, right? And I just can't be asked trying to get the exact tempo. So I'm going to save this. This is going to go somewhere. This is going to go in Patreon. So I will be uploading this for my patrons to download. I'll talk more about that in a second. Bireli Sunny. Face. It's not lag, it's like tempo fluctuations. Okay, so when you transcribe things for yourself, do you type it all out beforehand like this? If you're not typing it out, you're not transcribing. Transcribing, or think of the root words here. Trans really means to change, right? From one form to another. When you transport something, you are taking something from one place to another, like a port, literally a port, you know? When you translate something, you're taking language from one form to another. When you transcribe something, you are taking something from one form and you're writing it out. Scribe, to write it out. So you're taking audio, taking sound, and you're writing it out. If you're not writing it down, you're not really transcribing. You're working out how to play something, which is fine, but I'm a transcriber. So yeah, I transcribe everything. And to be honest, I won't pick up my guitar and learn to play this. That's not how I develop. It's not how my ears develop. I'm looking to develop my ears ahead of my fingers. I want to be able to hear better musical ideas, so that's why I do things the way I do. And also, this is my job, so I have to be good and do these things for a living. I have to be disciplined. You have to be disciplined. I've just streamed for an hour and a half transcribing. When was the last time anyone watching this screen transcribed for an hour and a half, solid, just transcribing? I do probably six to 9 hours of transcribing every day. And I was going to say I never get bored of it. That's not strictly true. Anyway, I'm just going to say a big thank you to my wonderful supporters over on Patreon one more time. Link is in the description if you would like to go and support me over there. It is a massive help. I know asking for money is very faux pas, but of course I've got to keep the lights on in this house, and mortgage to pay and all of that stuff. And if you can support the channel, it means that I can keep doing more videos like this, which is nice, right? I consider what I've done this evening work. And yeah, I do it for my wonderful patrons. So if you would like to support me over there, you can do so for as little as $1, a single dollar. What a great way to support me on my work, right? For $5, you can get access to my transcription downloads. Of course, all get you access to my private Facebook group. And yeah, $10 get your name in the credits, $20 private streams, and $50 you can have a monthly lesson with me where you can learn anything you want, even if that thing is just how to be a little bit more Landon. A little bit more fucking Landon. So, glad I got the end. Thank you very much for tuning in, Gabriel. It means a lot. If that doesn't suit, you can also check out one of my books on Amazon, as mentioned by Six String Spice. I have lots of books, and they are a great way to support the channel too. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. Please do hit that subscribe button, all that good stuff. Tell your friends, tell your enemies, because lots of people don't like me. So spread that hatred. And I'll see you for another stream later on in the month. I'll be doing one next week with Melissa, doing Gypsy jazz stuff, listening to it and talking about Gypsy jazz. Tune in, you'll love it. Much love, goodbye.